Hey everybody, my name is Hannah and this is my channel Glitter Bunny, and I am very sick. Like I always preface this, but it's because I really want people to fully understand me and my situation, so I'm just going to explain a little bit and then we'll get into it. If you saw the title of the video, I am gonna be talking about my emergency gallbladder surgery. So I'm a very sick individual, even though I look, I'm young, I look okay, mostly, obviously I'm overweight, but there's a lot of other invisible illnesses and chronic pain conditions you can't see. So with that being said, I have been suffering with stomach pain for 2 years probably. And sorry if I'm swallowing a lot or my voice cuts out or I sound confused. I am on medicine. I just had surgery yesterday, got home today, and I just took some medicine. I ate some food, so it's kind of like still trying to settle, so sorry about that. But I have a brain condition. If you've watched my channel or if you want to go back and learn a little bit more about me, so I have a brain condition called IIH. I have fibromyalgia, which affects my whole body. It started just in my arms, lower arms, elbow area when I was 16, and the older I get, the more seems like the fibromyalgia is just going all over my body. So when I flare, my whole entire body from my head to my toe hurts. And I'm also getting tested for lupus or RA. So my joints are really bad. And I'm on an undetermined level, so they can see I have tons of inflammation. They can see that I have these markers, but it's like not negative, but it's not positive. It's the in-between. So unfortunately, we have to wait for me to get worse in order to detect either RA or lupus, and then that's when the diagnosis would come. But I just wanted to preface that because another thing is, as crazy as everyone thinks this is, I am trying to have a baby. I'm 28 years old and my husband's 37. He just turned 37. I know men's age doesn't matter, but I'd rather my husband not be raising a teenager when he's 60 and my kid losing their dad. Some things you can't control in life happens for a reason, so I do trust that. But if possible, I would really like to have a child, but I also have infertility issues. We could go on and on. I'm saying this all, though, because I'm trying to just explain that I'm very sick. And so anytime I go to the doctor... Oh, wait, no, I was explaining about the infertility because I don't take a lot of heavy medicine. As far as pain medicines or things like that. I do take a little bit of pain medicine, but it's not what I consider heavy, which would be Percocets or Oxycontin or Oxycodone, nothing like that. But I'm on a lower opiate, I think. And then I have a muscle relaxer at night. I also got in a really bad wreck in 2014, and my car went spinning, my brakes went out, and ever since then I have 3 degenerative herniating discs in my back that I'm not eligible for surgery for. Yeah, and so I'm always hurting and extreme pain. So you never really know why you're hurting, because if you're someone like me and you have several chronic pain conditions, you're like, okay, is this part of the fibromyalgia? Am I just in a flare? My stomach hurts, and about every 6 months I do end up going to the ER for excruciating pain. Some of the times I get told that I do have a bacteria infection in my stomach, here's some antibiotics, go home same day, or I'm told I have been diagnosed with acute pancreatitis, and I have been told I had diverticulitis, which I still have the patches. It's just currently not active. The pouches are fine right now. I had a colonoscopy and endoscopy last year, so you can also watch that video somewhere in all my videos. So on 2 weeks ago, my back really started hurting really bad, and again, my stomach always hurt. Could have been from fibromyalgia, could be that I've had this gallbladder issue for years and I just never knew. I don't know if my gallbladder was ever checked. I feel like all them times that I went to the ER, they would have seen it, and you know, they never mentioned anything about gallbladder stones or your gallbladder looks rough or anything. So, you know, it could be something new, or maybe I've had issues with my gallbladder. It's just I could pass the stones before. I'm not sure. So, anyways, 2 weeks ago, my back really started hurting, like excruciating at night. And I just felt so sick, and like I just wanted to sleep, and I just was so miserable. And I'm also terrible at explaining my pain. So I just remember the first thing, like 2 weeks ago, my back really started hurting, and I just felt different, like really sick. And it was different than all the chronic pain conditions I've had, but I knew that like I've lost 2 grandparents in the last 6 months. You know, it was a pandemic, and you know, like, there's just a lot going on. So I was thinking, well, maybe it's stress, and maybe my brain, because I have a brain condition, maybe my brain condition's flaring up, because I know my eyes started going wonky, and I could tell my pressure was up, but my fluid in my brain also goes up, which again, that condition is called IIH, which is idiopathic intracranial hypertension. So a lot of people think it's just high blood pressure, but it's not. It's the actual spinal fluid and fluid in my brain. Like, I have too much in there, so it pushes down on my pituitary eye glands and causes migraines and a lot of other things, and it could potentially make me go completely blind one day. I talked to, fast forward a little bit, while I was in the hospital the last 3 days, I did talk to the doctors about it, and a couple of them knew it. Other people were like, oh, I've heard of that, but that's super rare. The people who knew about it were like, well, you know, the only thing that really helps is brain surgery, getting a shunt put in my head, which I'm not okay with doing at this point. If it gets to that, it gets to that. But anyways, so I am on medicine right now that's supposed to drain the fluid out. And so anyways, I was hurting really bad. So going back, I was hurting really bad for 2 weeks, like just in complete flare. And I kept thinking, I'm stressed, the weather changes, like this is just fibromyalgia or something with my brain, and it's just my body just being overwhelmed. But I'm telling y'all, I almost like screamed sometimes at night because I was just in so much pain. Like, you can see my face, like it, like how I'm like reacting to it even now, thinking back about how much pain I was in. And it was always on the right side of my belly. I'm gonna tilt this down. So right here, like here's my breast. Here is where it was hurting. I started not being able to really have an appetite or eat, and I had extremely bad heartburn that would make me nauseous and stay in my throat. A new medication I'm on, that medication I was talking about, that's supposed to help drain my brain fluid, also could have caused some acid reflux too. So I was thinking, maybe, you know, I can tell my brain fluid's up. I'm having migraines constantly. My eyes are starting, like your eyes starts half of, like one is really goes down and just a little bit, and then the other one like is open. So I started seeing stuff like that, and so I just kept rolling it off. Well, then I woke up Tuesday morning, and my head was killing me, and my stomach was hurting really bad. And I thought, you know what? You know, I didn't go to the ER sooner because, again, I've either been turned away and told, you're having a flare, take these antibiotics, take your pain medicine, and rest. Or, you know, pancreatitis or diverticulitis. But I have had pancreatitis and diverticulitis before, so I know mostly what that pain is, and it wasn't that. And I had been researching on Google, like, the pain started at my belly button. Like, so here's your navel. It started right above it, and then it like moved over to the side, and then it moved up to where I just showed you guys. So that was where I hurt. So I talked to my aunt, and I'm like, thank God for my aunt. She works in a hospital right now, which I come from a long line of nurses. But my aunt, I believe, is the only family member that like I talk to, or, you know, that I know that is still currently actively like in hospital setting. Like, my mom's a nurse, but she's private home healthcare. So I call her and I'm like, this is what's going on, thinking maybe she's seen it, can maybe give me some clarification, since I had Googled and saw that it may be my appendix. And I read that, you know, if it's really bad, it would burst in 72 hours, like you could die. And so, because it did feel kind of like a rock, like right there at that spot. And when I would lay on it, it would hurt. And like I said, I started losing my appetite. I did throw up one day, but I also have the lap band. I had lap band weight loss surgery back in 2012. And I throw up all the time anyway, so I thought it was just something to do with that. So anyways, I call her and I'm like, I really don't want to go to the ER because I'm scared they're just going to turn me away. And they're going to be like, really? You come here every 6 months. There's nothing wrong with your stomach. And if you know anything about like overweight people and doctors, like sometimes we get looked at as you're just an overweight person. They don't see me as someone who's in pain. So they tend to write overweight people off all the time, just due to weight. So they won't even like research stuff. They'll just assume. One time I was really sick, and I had not gone into the ER but a doctor's, and I had bronchitis, and I didn't know I did, but she diagnosed me with bronchitis and told me I was really sick. I had like a double ear infection in both ears. And guess what she talks to me about? I'm sitting there with bronchitis, like not being able to breathe the best, sick as a dog, ears killing me, and she talks to me about losing weight and wants to get me set up with like a weight, like, okay, I get it, but is this the time and place, you know? So there's so much discrimination with overweight people and doctors. Thank God I'm starting to build up doctors, like a team of doctors that actually look at me as a sick person, not just my weight. And I'm going to always advocate for myself if I don't feel like I have the right doctor. So anyways, I'm talking to my aunt and I'm telling her, you know, I'm having this stomach pain. Do you think I should go to the ER? I don't want them to turn me away, and I drive all this way for like, you know, just didn't want to go through the whole process because it's hours and hours you have to wait in the ER for test results, things like that. And she's like, well, you know, I had appendicitis before. This is what it felt like. And I was like, oh my God, like my eyes literally went open. I had like McDonald's, I had like a biscuit, a sausage biscuit, and like a coffee, and I just like left it all. Left it all. I was like, okay, I'm going to the ER right now. I was so scared, and my husband was working, and with COVID, you know, I didn't really have anyone to go with me. So, and again, I thought I was just going to be turned away. I was like, okay, this isn't nothing, or, you know, this may not be anything. Like this, that's what I just kept thinking. So I get to the ER and they're like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm having stomach pain right here. And he touches it and I was like, ugh, like it hurt so bad. It like tender, just him touching the outside of my stomach. And so they send me back for an ultrasound, and she's like checking my kidneys, my liver, my appendix, my gallbladder. Right when she hits the gallbladder, I'm like, oh, that's where I'm hurting. What is that? And she's like, your gallbladder. And I'm like, oh my God. So after the ultrasound, the doctor comes in, he goes, you have gallbladder stones and your gallbladder's inflamed. I'm like, what? I've never had gallstones before. He's like, well, you do now. So another doctor ended up coming in, that one left, and they decided that they were going to admit me for emergency surgery because I was in a lot of pain to get my gallbladder removed. And I did go through a CT scan, but some reason he said that you can't tell. The surgeon confirmed it too the next day. The surgeon and the doctor told me you can't really confirm like gallbladder issues, how bad it is or how many stones, like in a CT or ultrasound. And I had dye in me too. So, you know, we ran all the necessary tests. So, I mean, they could definitely see that, you know, there was definitely something wrong, and especially with the pain that I felt. And again, I'm so sorry if I'm going too fast or if I'm not making sense. I just really like to record these health videos like right away so I remember like what happened. So anyways, he where was I? Oh yeah, so they say the second doctor says, you know, we've decided that we can't like perform surgeries here because it was like just the ER. We're gonna have an ambulance come and get you and drive you to the nearest like hospital that can perform surgeries. And he said, oops, okay, there we go. he referred me to this doctor that he said he would trust him to do his surgery on him or his wife or anyone. Like, he's a really good surgeon. I was like, okay, great. So they get me in the ambulance, and I'm not even really, like, realizing I signed up for surgery at this point. Because, you know, again, I went in expecting them to be like, just go home, you know, take some medicine, whatever. So I get in the ambulance, first time ever riding in one. It was very bumpy, and it made me a little nauseous. Thank God we only had to drive 15 minutes. I don't think I could have done any more than that. But they were really nice. They actually, I was like trying to take a selfie, because like I love pictures and I take pictures of everything. And I like was trying to take selfies and like pictures of like my view in the ambulance so I could like document my first ambulance ride. And they were like, hey, let us get in it. So I got a picture with the 2 ambulance people that were sitting in the back with me. That was really cute and fun. And they kind of kept my spirits up, because I have high anxiety too, especially with doctors or like anything to do with medical stuff. Whew, my stomach. So we get to the hospital, they roll me in the room, and you know, they told me my surgery probably couldn't be performed that night, so it was going to be first thing in the morning. Ended up getting changed to 3 p.m. 3 p.m. comes around, I go for pre-op, like I did everything. All of a sudden we hear the doctor had, my surgeon had emergency surgery that he had to go help with. He'd be back at 8 or 6. He said 6, but then it got moved to 8. So yeah, I had surgery at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, the 25th, before Thanksgiving. Today's Thanksgiving. We had the surgery, and I'm trying to see if there's anything that I should tell you guys in between. I stayed at the best hospital. If you're in North Carolina and you need surgery, I highly suggest Wake Med North off of Falls of Neuse Road. Woo, they're amazing. And the hospital room I was in was big, and it felt like a freaking hotel, and I was just like laying in a hospital bed in a hotel. Very private, very clean, very like very nice. They even gave like cloth napkins with their like breakfast, and their shower, it was just really hot and big, and like it was hot, like the water stayed hot the whole entire time. So before surgery I got to take a shower, and I like just turned the hot water on the whole time. It took like a 45-minute shower. It was so nice. Yeah, it's just a really nice hotel. They were all pretty nice. There was like 1 or 2 nurses that were a little short, but it's around the holidays, and you know, they're probably stressed out, got their own stuff going on, but they were nice overall. Like, I didn't get anyone who was rude or anything to me. It was just they're a little bit cold, or some of them were, but not too bad. Like I said, it was definitely top tier level of care and friendliness from mostly everyone. So I am very thankful that I was able to be at that hospital during that time and get that surgeon. So they put me under anesthesia, and I'm terrible with anesthesia. I like come out either crying, I cry every time, but I'm either crying that I'm scared because I don't know where I am, what happened, and they have to get someone like my mom or my husband near me, so I have someone who I know who can like ground me and be like, it's okay, you know, like if I wake up to strangers, I'm just like, and like crying my eyes out. Well, this time, what I've never ever done is I come out screaming, help me, help me, help, kicking, oh my God. And the sad thing is, because my surgery got so pushed so far back, like the nurses that were there, they were supposed to leave at 5, but they stayed overtime to like take care of me and help me. Here I am screaming the night before Thanksgiving at them, like, help me, oh my God. But you know, you can't really control how you are when you come out of anesthesia. And I tried to warn everybody. I was like, listen, like, I'm going to be very emotional. I'm always emotional when I come out of anesthesia. And you know, I don't do it on purpose. But if you get me to someone I know, I'll calm down. So I remember like coming out of anesthesia, screaming, crying, help me, I'm in pain. And I was like, you know how they give you a chart 1 to 10, how do you feel, 10 being the worst? I was a 10 or 11, like, no lie. I don't even know why I was in so much pain. It's just my whole body was like killing me. And So they gave me pain medicine, rolled me upstairs, and oh, I was gonna tell you, so like when I'm like, help me, help me, help me, I just hear them say, get her to her husband, get her to her husband. They start rolling me down the hall in the elevator to get me my husband, and the anesthesia guy the nurse was really nice, and he like came running beside my bed like, you did great, you did great, I just gave you pain medicine, hold on, you got this. So like I said, they were just all really sweet and nice, but I thought that was funny because I remember them like, get her to her husband, where's her husband? And oh, he's in the room, let's go, because they remembered I warned them that if you get me to someone I know, I'll calm down. So it's good that I like remember this stuff and can kind of give people a heads up. So coming out of surgery, I came out, so it actually ended up being a 2-hour surgery because the person that had the emergency surgery that caused my surgery to be delayed, my surgeon was out helping another surgeon. So because he helped her, when it was my time after that emergency surgery, she came and helped him with mine. So mine ended up going faster, only 2 hours. They did say it was difficult to get to my gallbladder because of my weight and I think other things, but my gallbladder was so like I've had people tell me because I'm big on social media, especially my Facebook. I'm very personal, that's why I don't tend to add people I don't know, but you know, I kept trying to tell people that, like, because I would be like, yeah, I'm in the hospital, I'm getting emergency gallbladder surgery, and they were all like, well, I've had gallbladder surgery, and it was same day, and I was fine the next day, and, like, I went back to work after 2 days, and I'm like, y'all don't understand. First of all, it's not an outpatient surgery. I was admitted. I was rushed by an ambulance, like, to another hospital to get surgery as soon as the surgeon could fit me in. And then, like, I stayed 3 days. People don't normally stay that long. It was done laparoscopic, but so I wasn't cut open, thank God. But, you know, like, I had been holding off going to the doctor so long due to this pain because I was so scared that they would just turn me away, and, you know, wouldn't listen to me about how much pain I'm in, that, like, I didn't go. And I bet you I've had this for a couple years plus. I don't really know, but I know I've had it for at least a couple months, and then it got really worse the last 2 weeks. But so my gallbladder, he said that I was not like a normal case. I was more complex. You know, my gallbladder was pretty bad off. It was full of bile, stomach bile, and they had to drain the bile out before they could even remove my gallbladder because it was like so filled and, you know, just a really bad state my gallbladder was in. He was so nice, and he printed out pictures of me of my gallbladder. It looks like a big old piece of steak. I'm not going to post those pictures on here, just because I don't want to, like, you know, make anyone throw up or anything, but the little gallstones look like little pieces of corn or like little chicken nuggets that aren't cooked yet, like frozen chicken nuggets. I counted 21 in one picture and then 20 in another, but I think it was like around 21 gallstones that were in me. So again, it took 2 hours. We get back to the room. I'm freaking out. I didn't end up coming to it fully until, so they brought me back to my room around 10. I really didn't come to it until like 1 a.m. And when I first, like, around, like, I think 11, I had to pee. And I felt like, oh, I can get up and walk. And I tried, and I was so wobbly. And it was so weird because you, like, feel okay, but your legs aren't working. It was really weird. But another thing, as you can tell, I keep, like, grabbing my throat. And you can maybe be able to hear it. I was incubated, I think is the word, while I was having the surgery. So they had a machine that was breathing for me. I use the word flask. Like, I have flask in the back of my throat. It's like mucusy stuff, and I don't really know what it is. But if I eat or talk a lot or walk a lot, this flask starts, like, building up. So anyway, so I come to it around 1, and I was in a lot of pain the first night, and the next morning they had to give me a lot of pain medicine. I around the clock was on nausea medicine. And then trying to think what else happened. Oh, so then today, which is when I was sent home, so I was there. I went to the ER Tuesday. I was rushed to by ambulance the hospital where the surgery was performed on that same night, Tuesday. I spent the night Wednesday, and then Thursday I left, which is Thanksgiving today, 2020. So, yeah. So, I like come out of the surgery, and so today is when I really was like, okay, I'm out of anesthesia, even though I'm a little loopy from I'm taking medicine, of course. And this may be TMI again, so TMI warning, but when I had my gallbladder, I like wipe with this hand, this hand, and the way I have to turn to do it, I always felt like a rock in my stomach, and it was so painful at times. And now it's like, whoa, I can tell something's missing in there. That used to be causing me issues because it used to feel like a rock, and now the rock's gone. So I immediately felt relief from the gallbladder, which is thank God. And I haven't had acid reflux. So I'm wondering if, since my gallbladder was full of bile, I guess it wasn't flowing, did it like come up? Like maybe that's where all my acid reflux, came from. I guess we don't know. But yeah, I'm so happy that pain's gone. But now I have like 4, they're all on my right side, 4 incisions. They're about this long. They are pretty long. When I had lap band surgery, it was like this big. Like they were small. These ones are definitely longer. I don't have stitches. It's glue, which is good because it maybe won't get caught on like clothes and stuff. I only lost a little bit of blood, so I didn't, bleed out or anything. I was told that too. And the surgeon answered all our questions before. Like he answered my mom's, my husband's questions. So he was so kind, and it was just really a great experience. But today, this morning, which is Thursday, when I was supposed to leave, they wanted to make sure they could get me off all the IV medicines they were doing and try to get me to take pills that are similar that I can take home to continue getting better and recovering and staying, out of pain, hopefully. And they had brought breakfast. Well, I chose what I wanted for breakfast, and I got like eggs, and I got toast and like oatmeal, and I took a few bites of the eggs, and I ate the toast, and all of a sudden I got pain massively everywhere, and I was in so bad of pain I couldn't open my eyes. So I was out of surgery, I ate around 9 a.m. So I guess it was about 12 hours, if I remember right. Yeah, because I got done with surgery about 10, maybe less than that. So it was like 12 hours or a little bit less, and I couldn't eat. I couldn't tolerate it. My stomach right here, like the middle stomach part, like hurt so bad, and it made my whole body just like tense and pain, and I got short of breath. I felt like I couldn't, and I don't know if it's because I like really like got in massive pain all at once, so like my breath just like, it was so scary. But they gave me pain medicine that kicked in fairly quickly. And then I went home around noon. We picked up my pain medicine. Now I've been home. The worst thing I will say is that I have tons of gas pain in my shoulders. It's my right shoulder and my left, but my right is worse. Ice packs really help with that. The heating pad helped a little bit, but I think I prefer ice packs more. Ice packs are amazing on your stomach. I literally had 4 all day, and I need to get more. We just don't have a lot of ice. We got to go buy some ice tomorrow to refill the ice bags. But yeah, so I would suggest ice bags when you're in pain. It really helps. You can even put the ice bag on your gas pain, and it helps too, but you'll still feel it. Eating actually is what makes me like burp. I just ate Thanksgiving dinner. So my husband and I, it's so sad. We had bought all these ingredients to make, like, him and I haven't had our own Thanksgiving together in a long time. and we were going to, you know, we bought all the ingredients, like homemade stuff. It's all on our kitchen counter, and he was going to make it tonight. Like, we were supposed to make it all yesterday and tonight, and it didn't work out. But he's so exhausted, and my husband stayed with me the whole time. Only got a few hours of sleep. He did only got a few hours of sleep. He kept dozing off. The doctors were in there, and he's just like kind of snoring. I'm like, oh my gosh. But he's a great husband. I'm so thankful for him, honestly. I don't know where I'd be in this life without him. And things are not perfect. We are not a perfect couple, but I will say one thing is that we do love each other a whole damn lot. And I've been with him 7 years, 5 of those years married, going on 6, coming up in April. So we have a lot of, time together. But so we got Cracker Barrel for dinner. They had a Thanksgiving dinner plate, and so I just got dumplings because it's like a family tradition. Thanksgiving is dumplings. And my great-grandma, or great-mama, what I call her, she just passed last month, and she always represented Thanksgiving to our family, and she's the one who, like, taught us how to make dumplings, and that was just a big staple in the family. So it was nice that I got to eat it. I ate it pretty late, like probably 8 or 9 p.m., but I got to eat it, and I held it down. My stomach tolerated it. I did have to use the bathroom soon after it started digesting, but it wasn't like, explosive. Sorry, TMI. I'll definitely put a TMI warning on this video, or hopefully I did. But sorry if the camera is kind of odd shaped too. Like I said, I just want to tell this story, so hopefully it helps somebody out there. So this is my, it's 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. right now, Thursday, November 26, 2020. So it's been officially 24 hours and just a few minutes that I've been out of surgery. And, I could sit up and walk. When I had lap band surgery, I remember feeling like I couldn't sit up. Well, I am overweight and I have rolls, so that may be why. But what helps me is actually like leaning back. And when I get the gas pain, I'll like go in between 2 walls and stretch my arm or do it behind my head to have my shoulder pull up, since that's where the gas pain is, and that helps. Like I said, ice packs. So that's really all I have to say at this point. I want to encourage anyone, though, who you feel, advocate for yourself. Like, we were talking to the, not psychiatrist, sorry, pharmacist on the way back getting my medicines, and she said, oh my God, like, your gallbladder could have exploded with that much bile, and that would have all went in my, like, body. And so I'm so thankful that, like, we caught it, and my aunt encouraged me to go, and just everything worked out perfectly how it's supposed to. I was already on PTO because I was supposed to be in Kentucky this week, which is where I'm from. I live in North Carolina, but I'm from Kentucky, and I haven't been back in 5 years. But, like, it's just crazy how everything worked out to where I was here near my home and had a really good surgeon and good hospital. So, yeah. But good luck to anybody out there. Please, please, please advocate for yourself. Be the most upfront you can with your nurses and doctors about what your concerns are, where your pain is. If you have chronic pain and you're in pain all the time, like, let them know so they can make sure to monitor that. But yeah, I will try to do a follow-up video. I kind of just do random videos whenever I feel like it. Maybe I'll do like a post-op 1 week or something. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you guys did, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'll try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. About my own personal experience, I do suggest